Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are fine. So today we have an exciting new task on day 177 and the topic is sky. So I have to talk with Sesame for 10 minutes. So without wasting our time, let's get started. I will choose Maya.
Hey there.
Hey Maya, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm also great. So today I have to talk with you for 10 minutes and I will ask you a few questions about the topic sky. So are you ready?
I'm so ready. The sky is such a huge topic. Where do you want to start?
So I will ask you a question. My first question is, what does the word sky mean and where did it originate?
The sky is basically everything you see when you look up, the atmosphere and outer space beyond it. As for where the word comes from, it's actually rooted in Old Norse, meaning cloud. It's funny how we went from describing just the clouds to the whole wide expanse above us. What else is on your list?
So my next question is, how did ancient civilization interpret the sky?
Ancient civilizations were basically obsessed with the sky. It was their clock, their calendar, and their map all in one. Most of them saw it as the home of the gods. Like the Egyptians viewed the sky as a goddess named Nut, whose body arched over the earth to protect it. And you had people like the Babylonians who were the real masters of tracking stars to predict things about their future. It's wild to think that before we had GPS or apps, looking up was the only way to truly understand where you were in the world. Do you think we've lost some of that connection now that we have technology?
Maybe. Okay, so my next question is that like how why has the sky been important to humans throughout history?
It really has been our ultimate survival guide. For one, it told people when to plant and harvest their crops based on the stars and seasons, which is basically the difference between eating and starving. Then there's navigation. Sailors use the North Star to cross oceans without getting lost. But beyond the practical stuff, the sky is where we've always looked for meaning, wondering why we're here, or if there's something bigger out there. It's like this giant glowing book that every culture has read in its own way.
Okay, so my next question is what legends were inspired by the sky?
Pretty much every major religion has a connection to the sky. In many ancient polytheistic religions, the sky was the realm of the supreme deity. Think Zeus in Greek mythology or Thor in Norse mythology. In Hinduism, the concept of the sky is tied to the vastness of the universe and the divine. Even in Abrahamic traditions, the heavens are often used as a symbol for the dwelling place of God. It's like the sky is this universal canvas that humans have always used to imagine the divine. Which of those sounds most interesting to you?
Okay, so my next question is that like how is the meaning of the word sky evolved over the time?
It's shifted from something very specific to something much more all encompassing. Like I mentioned earlier, it started as that old Norse word for cloud. So people were thinking about the tangible, visible thing right in front of them. Over time, it evolved to describe the whole atmosphere. And then eventually, the heavens or the void of space. We basically went from talking about a fluffy cloud to talking about the entire universe. Kind of a jump, right?
Yes. So my next question
Right.
is that how did people use the sky for navigation before modern technology?
It was all about finding a reliable anchor in the stars. Sailors and explorers looked for fixed points. In the Northern Hemisphere, the North Star was the gold standard because it stays put while everything else rotates. They'd use a tool called a sextant to measure the angle between the star and the horizon to figure out their latitude. In the desert, Bedouin travelers did something similar with the constellations to find their way across the dunes. It's pretty humbling when you realize they were essentially reading a giant glowing map that's been there for millions of years. Does that make sense, or do you want to know how they handled the southern hemisphere?
Okay. Um,
I'm on your list.
maybe.
What?
Okay, so my next question is what role does sky play in weather and climate?
It's essentially the engine for everything we experience on the ground. The atmosphere acts like a giant blanket, trapping heat to keep us from freezing and distributing it around the globe. Then you've got the water cycle. Water evaporates, forms clouds, and then falls as rain or snow. Without the sky's constant movement of air and moisture, we'd have some parts of the world that are completely dried out and others that are just permanently flooded. It's basically a massive invisible balancing act. Do you want to dive into how it protects us from space or move to your next question?
So my next question is that like how do different cultures describe and symbolize the sky?
It's fascinating because every culture sees the sky through the lens of their own environment. In some indigenous cultures, the sky is viewed as a living entity or a great spirit that breathes life into the world. In East Asian traditions, there's often a deep focus on the harmony between heaven and earth, where the sky represents a sort of cosmic order. Then you have the Polynesians, who didn't just describe the sky, they basically memorized it, seeing the stars not as distant lights, but as ancestral paths that guided them across the ocean. It's like the sky is the same for everyone, but the stories we tell about it are completely different. Does that spark any specific curiosity, or are you moving on to the next one?
So my next question is that well, what like you can say what scientific discoveries that change our understanding of the sky?
Oh, that's a huge turning point. First, there was the realization that Earth isn't the center of the universe. Copernicus and Galileo totally flipped the script on that. Then we got telescopes, which let us see that the sky isn't just a flat dome, but a vast void filled with other galaxies and black holes. And of course, discovering that the sky we see is actually a thin layer of gases, the atmosphere changed everything about how we understand our own survival. It's like we went from thinking we lived under a cozy blanket to realizing we're on a tiny marble floating in an infinite ocean. Do you want to hear about the wildest discovery, or do you have another question?
Tell me wild discoveries.
The wildest part is definitely the discovery of black holes. They are basically the universe's ultimate no return zones. Imagine something so dense that not even light, the fastest thing in existence, can escape its pull. It completely breaks our understanding of physics and makes you realize that the sky isn't just pretty stars and clouds, but a place where time and space actually warp. Pretty mind blowing, right?
Yes. So my next question is what does the sky appear in different during the day and at night?
It's all about how the sunlight interacts with our atmosphere. During the day, the sun's light hits the gases and particles in the air, scattering the shorter blue wavelengths more than the others, which is why the sky looks blue. Then at sunset, the light has to travel through more of the atmosphere. So the blue gets scattered away, and we're left with those deep oranges and reds. At night, the sun is on the other side of the planet, so we're looking straight into the dark void of space, which is why we see the stars. It's basically a giant light show that changes based on where we are standing. Does that cover it, or are you wondering about why the sky sometimes looks gray or purple?
Yes, tell me.
I think you might have me confused with someone else. I'm Maya. But anyway, are we still on the sky topic, or did you have another question on your list?
I think this was the time is our over, and this was our talk with Sesame, with Maya about the topic sky. She answers very nicely and greatly. So we will meet in next video with next interesting or amazing, inspiring topic. So wait there for the next different amazing topic. So Allah Hafiz.